Here.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Here.
Mrs. Peterson? Mr. Stoffer?
Here.
Mr. Wyledge?
Here.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Here. Can I get a motion to approve the April 4th, 2022 agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes. Commendation and good news.
And Josh has a few things that he's gonna share in Dave's absence.
A couple things that were shared with us. Michelle Kavars mentioned that Lila Hanson's National History Day paper took first place. So she is headed to DC for the, or to the state, sorry, National History Day competition. A couple other items of note that the Booster Club auction is this weekend. Obviously a big supporter of all the activities we have going on here. And then, if you haven't seen this, our high school and Titan Hills Student Council put together bags for foster families, or kids that are going into foster homes. So cool collaboration for a great cause, so. That's it.
Definitely. Anyone else?
Could you back up to our student? All right, just to make sure everybody knows that that's the same student we've been talking so much about who did the research with the bees. That's not,
Nope,
No.
Lila's an 8th grader.
oh, I'm sorry. See, I told you I couldn't read that, Josh.
Listen, this is why I'm back.
That's right.
Thanks for being a good one. Yeah. The only other thing I wanted to mention as well is, not that we haven't announced this before, but Doreen and I, along with our LCEA president, attended last Wednesday night the Council Bluffs Chambers recognition evening for their unbelievable workplaces. We were honored to be there and be a second year in a row award recipient or recognized unbelievable workplace, which is, it's only been around for 2 years. So for us to have accomplished that for 2 years, it's very nice. We got a small piece of hardware that we'll keep out in the lobby, and it was a nice evening.
It was very
nice
nice. It was the chamber, what they, just that little presentation, it was
Yeah,
just really
Nice.
honored to be there.
It was at the Hoff Center, and which is a really beautiful place, and just was the right tone, the right environment, and very much a celebration. So we appreciated the Chamber's recognition.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Commendation and good news? All right, we'll go on to the first time in our agenda, comments and suggestions to the board. Anyone in our audience or anyone online can do a little chat to address the board. And hearing none, we'll go on to consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And an updated personnel sheet?
Yes, there are updates, and I will notate, there was one minor issue. All 5 of the coaches that were listed, they should have been listed under approval to employ. They were actually listed as resignations, so they were all in the wrong group.
Okay,
Important little detail.
yes, definitely. Okay, is there any discussion?
Go ahead, after vote. maybe.
Okay, all right, and any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes. And we do have reports next. Would you like to?
Sure. Just following the vote on consent there, which included personnel, I just want to make the announcement regarding our incoming creche primary principal. We went through that process over the last couple of weeks and came to a recommendation that was The candidate was provided a contract offer and accepted, and the board has just now approved. So I just want to read the announcement that I provided for the staff. We are excited to announce that Lisa Hedrick has been recommended and now approved to the Lewis Central Board of Education as the next principal for Kreft Primary. The board obviously considered that tonight, and that has been voted on. Lisa has returned to the Council Bluffs area after serving as a reading specialist, an instructional coach, and assistant principal, all in Texas. And prior to that time, she served locally as a teacher for St. Albert's and for the Omaha Public Schools. Early in her career, Lisa also had a role in assisting with our LCLC program, and she happens to be a graduate of Lewis Central. Lisa comes to us as a highly recommended candidate. Her most recent principal expressed that everyone at their school, quote, loves and adores her, end quote. And she credits Lisa for spearheading much of the work that has excelled student performance in their building. Lisa is beyond excited to return to her alma mater as the principal for Kreft and to learn and grow alongside all her new colleagues. So I hope everyone will join us in welcoming LC's newest addition to our staff, Lisa Hedrick, the 2022-23 principal for Kreft Primary.
Definitely. Welcome, Lisa. She, sitting in on the interviews, I think we had 4 quality candidates, and I'm happy to hear about
Most
who was chosen. Okay, we'll go on to the report, 6.01, COVID-related updates.
So I really only wanted to do this report tonight to say that this is the last time I'm going to do a report on COVID until we have reason to do a report again. We do have a few positives, but nothing that seems to be growing in the district. We went a number of weeks with complete zeros, and now we just have a few. But again, doesn't look like a pattern's developing or anything. So the numbers are down. We are about as back to normal as we've been since COVID originally hit us, and all things seem to be full speed ahead. We are, I guess, staying vigilant and realizing that some other countries are having problems with another wave of COVID. So we'll pay attention to that. From what I understand, if anything were to become an issue with that in our country, it's probably going to be a couple of months. So we'll keep watching, but our principals are no longer reporting every Friday night in their weekly updates. They're no longer reporting the percentages because we were pretty much at zero. So what they've informed their school communities is that once we have something to report, we will. But in the meantime, we're going to put it behind us and look forward and hope that we don't have to come back and revisit it.
Sounds good. All right, we'll go on to discussion items. 7.01, ratification of collective bargaining agreement with LCEA.
So had a very pleasant process as we have the last few years in discussions with our Teachers Association, and we did reach an agreement after one full meeting and a preliminary meeting prior to that with the chief negotiator and the president for this year, meeting with Andrea and myself. And we have reached an agreement with LCEA regarding the 2022-2023 through 2022-2027 master contract. That's regarding the language of the contract. That's a 5-year language. I did have to admit I had to check with the attorney to see if we could do 5 years, and Iowa law does allow that. In fact, they just established that not that many years ago. But that's to do with language. There will be openers each year specifically to discuss salary for the following year, which is, of course, ideal because we never know what our revenue streams and our enrollment will look like, or things like insurance cost, until we get much closer to those dates. The master contract was provided for the board in advance to look through, and there was no plan to really walk through it item by item, but can definitely answer any questions there may be. It is roughly I think we decided it was a 3.02% increase. And it is also, does involve some changes to the supplemental contracts for extra duty stipends, if you will, that had not been adjusted in a while. So it gave a nice adjustment there. And then some language changes on to do with leaves, all well within the ability for us to agree to. There was some negotiating back and forth on what was being asked, but we landed on some things that both sides were comfortable with. And so again, language-wise, it's a 5-year agreement, but there will be openers every year to discuss salary.
Is there any discussion?
I really want to thank our teachers and their representation, because they're very realistic in how they approach the bargaining session. They're not over the top, and yet these are employees who have been on the front lines of dealing with COVID for the last couple of years, actually for the last 3 years, if you really think about each year us having issues with it. And probably more to complain about than anybody, but they really didn't come at us with complaints. They came at us with proposals, and were very amenable to what we, I guess you would say, what we countered with. But they were interested in doing a preliminary meeting with Andrea and I, where we kind of shared all the budget information for them to see. And they used that information, I think, to be knowledgeable coming in. They were kind in their approach, and it just was an enjoyable session. So we were thrilled to, it wasn't even a late session. I think we were done by 7:40 that evening. Yeah. So, and thanks to the board member representatives who were involved as well.
Okay, we'll go on to 7.02, multiple software licensing renewals. I believe there's 4 of them.
Yes, I did. I wrote these in 4 separate motions just because of the amount of money, and I instead of lumping them all in one and totaling all those, I thought it was better to separate them out. So we've got the Power School licensing. These are all renewals. These are existing licenses that we have, and we're just asking for renewal. The licensing for Power School is basically our core platform for all student data management, registration, state reporting, and human resource document management. And recommending Power School for that at the amount of $53,781.96. Frontline education licensing. We use this as our time clock management, our substitute management, and employee absence management district-wide, something we absolutely cannot do without. And we are recommending that continuation with frontline absence and time solution at $22,323.14. Third one is on to college licensing. This product provides access to the ACT prep, study skills, and test-taking strategies for use at the high school for up to 200 students. That renewal for that license is $8,000. And then finally, our Illuminate data and assessment licensing renewal. This is our assessment management product. It serves all schools in the district, houses our formative assessments, and provides data warehousing for our data analysis. And we're recommending Illuminate data and assessment there, and the Inspect Premium, which totals $22,611.16. So those 4 amounts are listed in separate motions that you'll address when we do the action portion of the evening.
So my question is the on to college licensing that's for 200 students. Obviously, our senior classes are bigger than 200, and it might be some juniors who are doing some test prep. Is the 200, is it for individual students, or is it 200 at a time that can be on the program?
You know,
And I
all
might be throwing that at you.
No, that's okay. The best way I can answer that is to say that this is enough.
It's enough. That's all
Because,
okay.
because while I didn't ask the detail that you just did, I did ask if there was a reason, and that's apparently what
Okay.
that's sufficient for us
I'm good with
each
it
year
then.
and what we've used. Or we would clearly be
I mean, I know
purchasing
not
more.
everybody jumps right in and takes the
Yeah.
ACT or, so I get that. I just wanted to
Right.
make sure that 200 was enough.
Yeah. I think it's just based on who does access
Gotcha.
these products in the past, and
Okay.
I think that's even rounded up.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions or discussion? Okay. We'll go on to 7.03, student discipline matter, which is in closed session per Iowa Code 21.51E. A closed session is appropriate to discuss whether to conduct a hearing or to conduct hearings to suspend or expel a student, unless an open session is requested by the student or parent or guardian of the student. If the student is a minor, have they been asked?
Have not requested a session, no.
Okay, so this can be in closed session. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
So moved.
We have, is there a second?
Second.
I second. Oh,
Take it back.
'cause
We had two so moves, and no one had second, okay. Any discussion? And we actually do have 3 closed sessions, and so we will be coming out briefly to go make a motion to go back in, to come out briefly, make a motion to come back in.
But we're not gonna make any votes until the end of all 3.
Correct, and then we won't do that until our action items. But we will come out each time briefly to go back in.
Yes, but we will not go live online.
Correct. We won't go on, that's what I wanted to get to, yes. And so with that, vote please.
Mrs. McDaniel? Yes. Mr. Sloffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Shepherd?
Yes. Okay, we are back out of closed sessions. And at this point, comments and suggestions, this is the second time during our board meeting that anyone in the audience or anyone online, if they would like to type anything in, can address the board. And hearing none, we'll go on to our action items. 9.01, ratification of collective bargaining agreement with LCEA. Can I get a motion, please?
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the collective bargaining agreement with the LCEA for the 2022 to 2023 through 2026 to 2027 school years.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. And now we'll go on to 9.02. And let me get to that. All right. Multiple software licensing renewals. So there's 4 motions. And so can I get a motion for the
Madam Chairwoman.
first one? Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the renewal of our Power School SSI enrollment and records licensings for $53,781.96 as presented.
Second.
And we have a second. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. And the second one,
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
a motion to approve the renewal of Frontline Absence and Time Solutions licensing for $22,323.14 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. And the third one,
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
a motion to approve the renewal of Wandu College Test Prep and College Counseling System for $8,000 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. And the fourth,
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
a motion to approve the renewal of Illuminate DNA licensing for $22,611.16 as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. 9.03, student discipline matter.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to expel student A based on the discussions held and the agreement set forth. Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Ms. Atkins?
Abstain.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. 9.04, late filed open enrollment request.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the open enrollment out request as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wyledge?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. 9.05, personnel matter regarding employee leave.
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Stoffer?
I'd like to make a motion to deny the employee leave as presented in closed session and table for further review.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. 9.06, approval of the 2022-2023 budget and certified levies. We presented this at the March 21st, 2022 board meeting. Can I get a motion, please?
Madam Chairwoman,
Mr. Hendricks?
I'd like to move to approve the levies and adopt the 2022-2023 budget as presented and published with the direction that the board secretary file and adopt budget levies no later than April 15th, 2022 with both the State of Iowa Department of Management and the Potawatomi County Auditor.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Stoffer?
Yes.
Mr. Wylage?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Hendricks?
Yes.
Mrs. McDaniel?
Yes.
Mrs. Sheffel?
Yes. Items of interest, future board meetings. Our next regular board meeting will be April 18th. Is there anything else coming up? Booster Club auction is this Saturday.
Yes.
Hopefully people had tickets. I'm babysitting, so my daughter can go. And so with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Opposed, you can stay.